All right. Whenever you guys are ready, go for it.
The information in this podcast is educational and general in nature and does not take into consideration the listener's personal circumstances. Therefore, it is not intended to be a substitute for specific, individualized financial, legal, or tax advice. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a final decision.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for the first episode of In the Market Trenches. I'm Eric Furey. I'm joined here with Gary Ribe. We're your co-hosts. We want to use this first episode as a way to just kind of kick off, share a little bit about ourselves, our background, how we came together to do this, and what to expect in future shows. So, Gary, who are you and what are you doing here?
Who am I and what am I doing here? Those are great questions. Well, I'm an investor first and foremost. I started investing when I got out of college, but I'd always had an interest in markets growing up. Once I, kind of got out of college and paid off, all the college-related stuff, I finally had some money to do some real investing, and so I started learning by doing. And when you learn by doing, you make all the mistakes in the book. And it's been a journey, and any good investment professional has their own journey and their own battle scars, and so as time got on, I got more education, more formal education, did more learning by doing, met some smart people along the way, made more mistakes, had some hits, had some misses, toward the end of 2018, you and I got together and started Periodically, which is an RIA in New Jersey. It's been a wild ride so far, and but so far so good. I guess in terms of investing, I'll just distinguish between what we do for clients and sort of some of the adventures that we've had over time. Our investing for clients is pretty boring, and it's not designed to be fun and exciting. If it's fun and exciting, we're doing it wrong. But sort of the adventures that we've had over time, those have had some fun and excitement, and so I thought it'd be good for us to have a platform to share some of the things that we've learned, some of the experiences that we've had, some of the lessons along the way, and maybe bring on some of the people that we've met along the way, and maybe meet some new people that have some interesting stories to tell. Eric, you and I, we met when? 15 years ago, 14 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. We met in a basement of a church lifting weights.
That's right. Doing some deadlifts.
That's right. Who knew back then that that meeting would lead to us managing a firm together and now co-hosting a podcast.
That was a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan for sure. So. Well, I was the one that was very much into the lifting to begin with. I don't know how much Eric had done prior to that was actually a community outreach program that I ran for kids in our town mostly, and we had a ragtag bunch of misfits that would show up, and it was
I was one
of
of them that rolled in one day.
Eric was one of them. We had some real personalities that had a lot of flair, but we've sort of kept in contact with a number of them over time. And but Eric and I were the only ones that were really seriously into investing, and we sort of started sharing stories and looking at stuff, and we just kind of kept talking over time. And it got to the point where Eric and I would talk, I don't know, practically every day about one thing that we were involved in or another. So we had a lot of fun doing that, and I don't know. What am I missing, Eric?
Yeah, I would say you worked at one RIA and I worked at a different one, and we still kind of worked on our own investment ideas that we did on the side together, shared stories, and then at some point we decided that we were going to form a creative together to do private wealth management for clients, and now we just work closer on some of the other investment ideas that we do.
Yeah, I would describe the stuff that sort of we'll call them I don't know if side projects is the right word, but there are things where we can hopefully learn some stuff and meet some smart people and sort of expand our circle of competence and our experience set. And what's really fun about the investment game is that all the knowledge is cumulative and it compounds on itself over time. And so you sort of you work really hard to have an insight or a learning or something, and you sort of stick it away and you say, okay, well, I'm going to remember that that's possible and that can happen, and or this kind of situation can arise, and you sort of just tuck it away, and maybe at some point it becomes relevant again. And most things are cyclical, and so once you've learned something, and even if it doesn't pop up again, to another point in another cycle, at least you know about it, and what can happen, and so but we tend to get involved in a lot of sort of, I would say, eclectic stuff with hair.
When I think back over the past 14 years, we've been involved in names that are very liquid to bankrupt companies where fraud was uncovered, liquidations, rights, warrants, SPACs. It's you name it, we've seen it and been involved. And I think one of the things that we wanted to do with this podcast is share some of those stories, spinoffs, reorgs. Yeah, we've also paid a lot in tuition in terms of losses, and so if we could share some of that tuition with our audience, that's great. Maybe we help some of you avoid some of the mistakes that we've made, but inevitably, the mistakes are one of the best ways to learn in the market.
Yeah. I mean, the market is ultimately the teacher in the university, and the lessons are the mistakes are the losses, and those are the greatest teacher. And so we've definitely paid our fair share. We've learned the most from the mistakes. We never let a good mistake go to waste. Whenever we've erred, we've always stepped back and taken stock in the metaphorical sense, in sort of what the lessons were and how to not make the same mistake again. And it is kind of difficult sometimes because the mistakes, they're similar mistakes, just in different clothing. So we thought it'd be fun to sort of go back and look at some of the things that we've been involved in, where we've learned something, and have some of the people that we've met along the way on, and to share their experiences. We've, as Marek mentioned, we've been involved and tried a lot of different things. We've made mistakes on the short selling side very early on. We thought that was something, that was kind of interesting, and boy did we make some mistakes there. What else am I missing, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the fun in this journey was also meeting a lot of people along the way, smart people that have been kind enough to share their own knowledge with us, and we've been pretty open-minded and humble and taking in that knowledge, and people that we have good relationships with now that we hope to have on here and share some of their in the market trenches stories. We all have a lot of them, and we could all learn from one another.
Yeah, what's fun about this is when you meet people along the way, sort of, it's almost like being in a club or in a way, and entry into the club is simply just bringing something bringing the ideas are the currency for entry, and ideas and knowledge are the currency that gets you in. And once you're sort of in, you're building up that knowledge base, you're sharing things, you're meeting different people, and it's amazing how sort of your network, the network of folks that can sort of just mushroom and really grow. And so, now when we're looking at something, we can say, okay, who do we know that would be involved in something like this, that might look at something like this, that's got maybe got more experience than we do, maybe, but can bring something to the table. We can bring the idea to the table, and then we can talk about it and work on it. And there's a whole host of people that that we've encountered along the way that way too. And some folks are extremely detail oriented. Some folks are big picture oriented. Some guys like to really play three-dimensional chess in terms of how they go about doing things. And it's kind of interesting and fun, and we learn stuff from it, which is great. And hopefully we met Bobby Kraft, and we did a podcast with him, and the reason we wanted to do this, we had a lot of fun doing it. And when we were done, Bobby was like, well, you guys, he seemed to think we might be good with a show together. And I said, no, we'll give it a shot. I mean, let's have some fun. But if we were going to do something, we want to do a show that we would have fun doing, something that we would actually want to listen to. Because there's a lot of content out there that we don't want to listen to. So we don't want to do something that everybody else is doing. So we thought we would do something where we share stories, and sometimes we'll talk about I think sometimes we'll reveal the name of the company if we're at liberty to do so. Sometimes we won't, and we'll try to have people on to share their experiences. And I don't know if we've decided whether we're going to leave it up to them to name the company or not. Or how we want to approach it, but we'll talk about it. I think the only rule that we have is can't be something that we're presently involved in. So that would be the only rule that we've set, the rule of the road that we set for ourselves. So if you're listening to this and you'd like to come on the show and talk about an experience, we'd reach out to us. We'd be interested in having you. The other thing we were considering doing with this is, I went through business school. I know what trying to get a job in investment management is like. It's a lot of pitching investment professionals. So I think we'd like to get some students on to share some of their ideas and maybe use this as a way to advertise their work to potential employers. And we'll grill them. We'll ask questions. I don't think we're going to share an opinion on whether we would do anything with it, but I think that could be a lot of fun as well. So what we want to do is have a show that we could have fun doing and meet some smart people, share some ideas, get a little smarter along the way ourselves. And I don't know. What else? Did I miss anything here? Anything you want to add on that front, Eric?
Listen, you and I, we talk every single day, and sometimes we're talking about how the sausage is made and how the investment idea comes to light and ends up in the portfolio. Yep, that could be it. People are going to hear how we actually vet through some of these ideas from start to finish and all the way through the postmortem. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of you and me, and then us talking with our guests. So we're excited to be doing this. We're really excited that Bobby encouraged us to do this. If you want, you could follow our blog on our website at www.accretivewealthpartners.com. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. You'll be able to download these podcasts and listen to the podcasts wherever podcasts are available. Feel free to write any reviews, subscribe, listen. You'll be able to find us at inthemarkettrenches.podbean.com. You'll also be able to find us at snn.network. You'll be able to find us on the SNN YouTube channel, youtube.com/SNN Wire. We're really excited to be doing this. We welcome any feedback, welcome any suggestions. If you have an idea you want to pitch it to us, love to hear about it. Again, special thank you to Bobby for having us on. We look forward to showing our first official episode, which is going to be an In the Market Trenches with Gary and I. It's a fun one. It involves cryptocurrency. It involves a company emerging out of bankruptcy. And then we already have our second episode lined up. We're going to have a special guest for you. I think you'll be really excited about it. We're really excited about it. Bobby is really excited about it. So we're just really stoked and pumped to be doing this. So thank you, everyone.
I'm excited.
Gary, what did I miss? Did I cover everything?
I don't think you missed anything, but Bobby's excited. I'm excited about this. And we've got some other guests that we think have some really interesting stories to tell. We could probably have them on multiple times even. They've been through the ringer not once, not twice, but thrice. And repeatedly. So we've got quite a few people that we think would be interesting to have on to talk about things. So we're really excited about this, and we're really looking forward to making some new friends, learning some new stories, and getting to know everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Hope you tune into the first episode. Hope you really enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
The information in this podcast is educational and general in nature and does not take into consideration the listener's personal circumstances. Therefore, it is not intended to be a substitute for specific, individualized financial, legal, or tax advice. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a final decision.